Molly and I were thinking that we could just do like a little kind of like a run through of what our papers were on, and then we can discuss them all, I guess.
We'll just make it up. As we go.
Who wants to go first? Okay, maybe I'll go first. I just kind of explored what it means to be a social impact designer and how current events that are happening in our world at the moment, that's what a current event is, how we can use our skills as graphic designers to work towards lessening them, I don't know. And then, I just focused on Riddle's wicked problems as well, and how all the problems that I spoke about tied into the different wicked problems.
Do you want me to go next? Mine was on how designers advertise themselves through social media. It is, I guess it links to, networking and that, but on an online space. I pretty much went down through like every major like social media website, the benefits of them, the disadvantages, what their features were, just the users themselves, like give them a rundown of the specifics and the reasons why a graphic designer needs to know about these websites.
Do you want me to go? So I just wrote an essay on networking, just like the importance of it in establishing your business, proactive attempts to develop personal and professional relationships and how it will benefit your business kind of as a whole. The more experience you have in designing, the more connections you'll have access to. It's kind of funny because I actually think they all tied in together, even yours, Daisy, because I was like, you kind of network through being a part of like the Black Lives Matter and the Me Too, so it all works in a circle.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna leave all of this in, Michelle. It might get us one.
Yeah.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
So mine was on portfolios and what to include for concept art. I went through and tried to find out all the requirements, what was being looked for in terms of style and content, and that was pretty much it. It was a pretty basic report, so useful. But for me anyway. But
I was reading yours about what they were saying about the portfolios, how everyone in the biz was like, yeah, you have to update it every 6 months. It's never finished. I was just like, I'm so stressed reading this. But it was good. It was really informative. Even though I'm not a character designer, it was still really helpful reading all the information that you had in there. It was a good essay to read, and because I don't know that much about character design and all the game art and stuff, it was just amazing because you don't think about how much work goes into that type of stuff.
I feel like it does have overlap to a lot of other things, designers have to have portfolios as well and give pitches, even though they're not the same. They have that aspect to them as well. So it's useful for heaps of people, even if it just focused on, the character design aspect.
I was going to say, it was the ethics side of it is one of those wicked problems is lack of representation and stuff. And it starts with what people are, that very start reproductions.
What do you mean by a lack of representation?
So generally, historically anyway, if you've got a character and they happen to be black, it's a big part. They're black. That's their main thing, as opposed to they have a character who happen to be black. So if you have more people in there of colour or of gender or different roles or backgrounds or whatever, it stops being about what they are and it's about the character. And that does come through with when you're designing at that very first stage.
Do you want to talk about yours, Daisy? Ours sort of related because a lot of the things you were talking about and that related to the networking one as well. It happens on social media. It happens as a part of networking, the BLM, the Me Too, the climate change. But I wanted to just ask you now, if we looked into the slacktivism side of the things, like the way that design can definitely help these things, that's true. I felt like if you were to do a part 2 to this essay, it would be, how does it not help? There are a lot of ways that design can absolutely mess things up.
You look at propaganda and how it is displayed in a contemporary context. There's people rallying for Joe Biden and using using all of their design stuff for good. Like I posted something on Instagram the other day, a black version, a white version, and a blue version, kind of symbolizing vote Democrat. But there's people who are using their design skills to emphasize their political views that might not be so left-wing. There are obviously ways that people use their skills and use their kind of connections to design things that don't help socio-cultural events.
I've just always seen, like, you know, with your climate change thing that you talked about, you did like diagrams and statistics, which are really great for that kind of thing, because it's, you know, people need to know them, they're not often told them, and graphic design is a great way to get that information out there. But then it also comes back to anyone can make a, you know, graphic thing that says any statistics, and it's like, it was just the thing I just thought about when it came to your work and how it relates to mine, just being on social media. That's where it's all happening. Like anyone online can post any statistics and say, dress it up with some graphic design and say that's it.
Yeah, Chelsea, I really liked yours actually. It was the easiest for me to relate to because it was so, like, everyone has to network, obviously, like, and I because it was so relatable, especially now as we're going into third year and we need to kind of start building those relationships, and it's hard when you're introverted. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do it.
And like events, like I don't want to go
events.
to
What
events.
the
No. But no, it's actually like super. I didn't realize, like, I thought always like networking was beneficial.
It's definitely the way I got on placement this year. I did professional placement as a part of my course.
I'm
and
doing
stuff.
that at the moment. It's actually really fun. Yeah.
And I just did it with Carl Morgan. Like, you know,
I love that.
Yeah, and Carl's a good one. I feel like Carl's
he's great.
One-way ticket to networking.
I feel like every person in our class needs to read the networking one. It was great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That statistic about, you know, the 70 to 80% statistic just blew me away. Like,
and also
I
that
feel
fact
like
that half the time you don't even realise you're networking.
Yeah, no.
It's not official.
Exactly. You're not trying to.
I guess, are we all networking now to get
Totally.
really better?
Yeah.
Are we all networking?
Making friends.
Engaging in classes and engaging with other students and stuff, even when you don't know that you're doing it, like, it definitely does help to build up your network.
Like the natural progression of networking.
Yeah.
But if they learnt the skills to do natural networking and just like social skills, it'd be a lot easier than people think.
Like the people I work with now are the people I met at uni. And I remember I was like, oh no, I was the person that used to keep my camera off and be like, I don't care about this. And now I'm like, hi everyone.
I love that though. We love character progression, Chelsea.
That's amazing. I'm building myself. But no, and I was like, oh, that really rung true. I was like,
Just thinking the other one is that you brought up, I think, was that networking also happens online through social media, through your portfolio, through your...
You've got to do it the right way too. Like if you align yourself, like you can do it positively. Black Lives Matter, you might get clients because they're like, I like this person, she's like ethically involved. And then, you know, you could also say the wrong thing on social media and it ruins your network because you're like, I don't want to hire someone that's not saving the planet.
I'm trying to build an Instagram following at the moment. And then Molly, what you said in your report, and you were like, it's really tough, like these things that I'm telling you right now, they're not going to help you. You just have to like persevere, and you have
I think with all of our things, you have to be consistent, you have to be so on top of it, you have to be ready to, you know, commit to doing it.
And then what you said, Michelle, at the end of yours, you were just like, persevere, don't get discouraged. I was like, okay, this is what I need to hear.
Constant thing. Like I finally think I rack up the courage to be like, here's my portfolio, and I'm like, no, it's not good enough, gotta change. I hate it.
The reason I originally did that, you know, discussion point was because I was having the exact same problem. I was, you know, getting absolutely zeros on every, you know, platform, and I was like, there's got to be like some secrets towards it. Like, what's going on? I know there's an algorithm, but what does it want? Like, I don't know. So that was sort of my thought. And I think that was the point Michael wanted us to learn. One of the most interesting advice I got from like another person writing about the same thing was, don't market towards your peers. You don't always need to market to your peers. who are also into drawing and design. Try and get people who are not interested in any of those things but could be interested in what you're doing as well. The great thing about your report was all the pictures. Like, I'm so glad you put pictures in there of the layout.
Yes.
And all the things that were included. But, like, you could describe them, but like you want to see it, you know.
Yeah, it make no sense without pictures.
So when I was talking about ethics are kind of fundamental to your success. We must see ethical accountability within the design community as a vital partner to our success. And asking personal questions regarding our own ethical stance when we are designing for other people. That was kind of my key takeaway from my essay. Ethical workmanship, I guess you could call it.
The biggest takeaway I already sort of gave, which was, you know, not just engaging people within your core audience of illustration and design, but also engaging outside of that. I think if people just stay consistent, understand the climate, they'll, you know, eventually get there through hard work and tapping into different markets, as I said.
What about you, Chelsea? What did you get out from your essay?
I think it's really important graduating into design, which is like a very competitive industry. So I just feel like the importance of networking really has to be understood if you want to really start a career where you have the right clients and you meet the right people that can help you get to where you want to be. Yes, people you know, not what you know. So
I think what I got out of my report is the importance of story. Probably in any portfolio is you need to be telling a story, and through the work, not little labels next to it, but it has to be in the work, and that sort of trumps everything. It doesn't matter if you put in the wrong things or your style's wrong or whatever. In the end, it's if you're telling a story, if you can communicate that story through your work, you're more likely to get hired.
All right, ladies.
Yep.
Do you think we have enough?
We've got a fair amount to work with.
All right, guys.
bye.
Bye.
Enjoy your night.
Peace.
Bye.